680's Chris McCusker joins us now. Hello, Chris.
How are you?
Very good. And it's been a roller coaster ride on the markets all week. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, as an example, the Dow today saw a swing of about 350 points. Yesterday, it was about 500 points. So, never a dull moment. The Dow had its worst week since October, down about 2%. It was the big loser in North America on a percentage basis. Now, as far as the U.S. goes, comments by several members of the U.S. Fed, which some analysts say were hard to read, that was a factor. There was also conflicting information on the U.S.-China trade talks. The U.S. president said one thing, then his advisors said something else. So I asked an economist what he thought about these mixed messages. Here is Avery Schenfeld, chief economist at CIBC.
The issues are complicated. It might take longer than reaching a Canada-U.S.-Mexico deal. But at the end of the day, there will be pressure from within the U.S. economy to reach some sort of deal with China. So in the here and now, a lot of uncertainty, and that has markets a bit frazzled over what dent that might do to the global economy.
Now, as far as the TSX goes, it saw a swing of 88 points today, down about 1% this week, off 6.5% this year.
And tough times right now for Canadian crude with the heavy oil benchmark hitting a record low.
Yeah, and it actually bounced off that record low today. It was up by about $4, still closed just shy of $18 U.S. So the discount between Canadian and U.S. oil still close to $40. This is part of an ongoing issue that we've seen in the last couple of months, a glut of Canadian oil, questions on what to do about it. Some companies suggesting a production cut. Other companies rather don't like that. Now, late today, we got word from BMO. This whole mess is very likely to affect Canadian GDP in the fourth quarter. So the bank has sent out a revised forecast calling for fourth quarter GDP at 2.1%, down from 2.5% earlier. Next year's economic growth also has been scaled back. And this is the first big bank to make this move. As it stands right now, a 72% chance of an interest rate hike by the Bank of Canada in January, but depending on how this plays out, that could change.
An interest rate hike, really?
Yeah.
Because we're hearing that with, Canadian debt levels are unhealthy right now, and with Christmas just around the corner.
I know.
Yikes, people are going to be racking up credit card bills.
Yeah, yikes is right. So, from an industry group, we are getting this warning, so to speak, and this group represents Canadian bankruptcy professionals. It's called the Canadian Association of Insolvency and Restructuring Professionals, and it's predicting the country can expect to see a wave of consumer insolvencies next year. Now, to predict the future, what it used is the past, pointing out that other times we've seen a spike in the number of insolvencies. It came about 2 years after interest rates started to rise, and our interest rates started rising in the middle of 2017. At the same time, 90% of membership in this association says that Canadians possess unhealthy levels of debt. And yes, as you sort of highlight, not the greatest time to hear this.
Okay, so Chris, don't get me a big gift, okay?
Just a small
card
gift.
Is fine.
Okay, just a card. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Facebook, they've had a really tough year, right? And it's quite a mess when it comes to the stock market as well.
Yes, a mess is a lovely way to put it. We heard from the COO and the COO over the last couple of days after this New York Times report highlighted concerns about how the company handled Russian attempts to interfere with U.S. elections. It seems the comments from Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg maybe have made things worse. It's not really clear as of yet. Today, we had a Stifel Nicholas analyst suggest that a shakeup of top management should be considered. So that, at least for the moment, remains to be seen. Shares in Facebook off by about 3% today, and then down 21% this year. So that has cut into Mark Zuckerberg's bank account.
Not liking that, is he?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.
All right, let's get back to Shauna Hunt.